made a response video. It went viral. Shade Room posted it, and this lady sent me this long video. And her video to me actually made me pause. Because she said, I wouldn't have to work as hard and bring as much to the table if men worked harder and brought more to the table. So she was like, so to tell me that 50-50 is not good, when if I come to the table with nothing and he comes to the table with nothing, we have nothing. And I'm like, that's true. So then I go on and tell men, listen, if God put a $1 million idea inside of you and you're only making $50,000 a year, you're letting down God. So you need to go get that $1 million idea before you focus on trying to get into a relationship. Because we as men are the providers, right? So then guys call me simp. Then ladies are like, it shouldn't all be on the men. Because the number one rising entrepreneur in today's day and time is a black woman. So ladies do not want to come to the table with nothing. So I think I want to have this conversation as men, right? We've been hearing the ladies clap. Let's put the blinds down, and I want to ask this question. Do we want a boss woman in our home? Do we want to go 50-50 with the woman to where she's bringing in the bag, I'm bringing in the bag, and we sharing this bag together? Like, what do we want as men? Do we want that boss woman in the house?
What's going on, my friends? Before we get to the ladies hear him out panel, I want to thank our friends over at Bethel Tech for partnering with us to make this happen. You see, one of the rising industries that's producing multimillionaires and six-figure heirs is the tech industry. My friends over at Bethel Tech is the #1 leading technology institution in the United States of America, and they want to help you get into the tech industry to double your salary, to double your income. I want you to go check them out over at anthonyoneal.com/Bethel. That is anthonyoneal.com/Bethel. Yo, give yourself 9 months. 9 months with this program and watch you double your income in 9. Your life can be different by this time. But in the meantime, let's change your life with this conversation with my brothers. Let's go.
There's no room inside of a marriage or a committed relationship for a boss woman to do her thing underneath a man's vision. When we get married, when we say I do to the man, we marry into his vision and take on his last name, not the reverse.
My husband cannot be the brain of me. I need to have my own brain. And I believe in business can be done in the home. So I believe that you should be an asset to your husband.
I believe that a boss woman can live in a household. Like men and women, we both have different roles that need to be carried out. As far as like a woman's role, just being that the husband is the head and then the woman is referred to as the neck.
And let me start with this.
Give Doc the mic first.
Before Doc get the mic. Before Doc get the mic.
With you based on how he just
But, you know what I'm saying? Before Doc gets the mic. Because Doc is ready. I think that is a conversation that most ladies probably will not like my answer. And I don't think there is a right or wrong answer here. I think I prefer a woman who can help me build, watch this, but she's not building by herself.
I like that.
And I think that there are ladies who want to say, I want to go out here in the marriage and build by myself. You go over here and you build. I have my checking account, you have your checking account, and I give you part of the mortgage. Because here's the thing, I hear a lot of ladies saying, I don't want to ask my husband for nothing. And so for me, I'm like, nah, shorty, that's not what I want within my home. I want to build with you, but I don't want a builder on her own.
Okay, so that's different. I like that.
No.
He's still going.
No.
No, listen, and let me give a little background. When you're speaking from a perspective of a man who's built, it's even in the Bible. If a man doesn't have a vision, you shouldn't even be dealing with him in the first place. So if I come to you with a vision, I'm just looking to share the vision with you. I'm not looking for you to boss anything up. And the other thing that's really, really important is a boss chick doesn't come with feminine energy. And so,
Be quiet, Joe.
according to how we are defining a boss chick today, she does not come with feminine energy. It is not going to mesh with this masculine energy. We're going to be in arguments. We're going to be in a disagreeable house at home. When I say we're not eating meat, we're not eating this, because we're building this and we're going to make sure our children don't have diabetes and they're obese. It's not a conversation. It's not. It's not a conversation. It's not a conversation. So if I say that we're doing something that is positive for our family, positive. Hey, baby, this is how I'm going to make this $5 million. I just need you to do this at home. When I come home, that's all I need you to do, baby. When I say we're not eating this way because we need to build a legacy that doesn't end up like my family with cancer, diabetes, and hypertension.
So we can't get no barbecue?
Nope. Yeah, get some plant-based barbecue. But what I'm trying to say is that masculine energy it always wants a complement to it. Complement, not compatible. Compatible is boss energy on boss energy. Complementary is masculine, feminine, yin and yang. That's why households are divided. And so just for me, when a man has
just for you.
Yeah.
Just for you, yeah.
Just for you.
So and typically when a man has means, and I was telling this earlier, because I'm in the health profession, when I see women are smarter than men in many ways, more capable than men in many ways. Even in the hospital, I was telling them, like, sometimes I would work like 16, 17 hours. I would see women doing the same thing. Capable. But the toll it takes on them is very different from the toll it takes on us over time. So every time I'm working with a woman who has fibroids, take the stress out of her life, the fibroids shrink. So yes, can you do it? Absolutely. You could probably even do it better. But the toll that it's going to take on you versus me, I'm built to take it. I always tell my girl, I'm built like a brick. Every time she say, you all right? No, I'm built like a brick. Keep going. So from my perspective, I do not want a boss in my home, like at all. Because it's not yin and yang for me.
I'm cool with a little bossy. I ain't gonna even hold you.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, here's the thing.
What type of boss, though? You gotta identify what you're talking about.
Yeah, what type of boss? So, you know, I'm gonna keep it real. You know, like, my lady don't clean the house. We got people for that.
Yeah.
And I don't talk to them people. I don't even know about them people. I don't know when they coming. She let me know, look, hey, we got people coming today. You understand what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, I don't want a woman who gonna sit back, right?
That's not what I said.
Hold on. Here's the thing, though. See, I don't need a woman that's gonna sit back and watch me go out into the world, right, and take on the world all the way by myself without her at least being the watchful eyes, being that discernment. My lady, you know, my lady will go to a social event. She ain't gonna say nothing to nobody. But when we get back home, Bruh, she know everything about everybody that's moving, bruh. She
way.
know everybody's opinion before they even said anything, and she know how to read the room. You understand what I'm saying?
You ain't paying
and so when
attention.
you got a woman who just sitting back kind of like lacking, she just don't want to provide no value to nothing. It's like that right there is a recipe for something, for me, my personal opinion. I just think that's kind of lame. You know what I'm saying? I want a woman that can add value to the world and me.
So are we doing 50-50 as
So
men?
let me speak on this. I'm going from experience.
Are we doing 50-50
No,
as
sir.
men?
Let me handle this real quick because I got real experience with this. So all right, so I'm 31, my lady 30. We've been married for 1 year, right? Yeah, I'm the guy that spent $115,000 on the wedding. That's me.
The dumbest thing you should.
But let me go back real quick. I'm gonna make it fast. We started off 18, 19. Of course, at that time we young. Everything 50-50, right? Everything 50-50. Once I decided that I wanted to start my entrepreneur journey when I was like 24, 25, guess what? It went more like 70-30, and she was 70. But just because a man, he may be at 30 and she's 70, don't mean I ain't had that vision. See, more women would feel comfortable supporting if they had a man with a real vision. Just because I was at 30 didn't mean I wasn't a leader. And she respected me still. You see what I'm saying? So as we go along, I started my entrepreneur journey. Guess what? She took a job an hour and a half away, right? I said, baby, listen, handle your business. I got this right here. I'm coming to get you, right? About a year later, I got us a house. I came and got her for a government job. I got her some benefits. And then it turned around. Now I'm 70 and she 30. The time we got married, we 100 to nothing now. I got it because you was there, you stayed down, you believed in me, and now we're 100 to nothing because she was supportive of what I was doing. And she still respected me as a man. She didn't downgrade me when I wasn't, doing my thing. And that's the problem with a lot of women today. Just because a man may not be up on his feet financially, they seem to down a man, but they don't understand a man with vision, though. Nobody got patience no more.
So I think I have a question that may be more rhetorical of how we coming up with the equation of 50-50. And when I say that is because my journey kind of mirror yours. So my wife, years and years ago, I ain't gonna tell them how old you are, baby. After she graduated college, I still was struggling. So she paid for everything. 100% of everything. No 50-50, no nothing. It's, I ain't got no money to pay my light bill. She was like, no, I got you.
Yes. I think that relationships should be 50-50. I think that as we learned tonight, there's gonna be different periods of time where, you might be 70-30, might be different, but I think that everyone should come to the table being able to bring something to the table instead of just coming to the table empty-handed. And I think that we should both be able to do that in a relationship, in a marriage.
I felt indifferent. I understood where he was coming from when he said he wants to be in charge of the household, but I do believe in order for a partnership to work, both voices have to have some type of say. Sometimes you submit to the other person, but it can't be only one person running the ship. In different seasons, maybe when he's weak, the woman is strong in that season, and vice versa. So I understand where he was coming from, but I feel like it's not 100% accurate for all seasons, everything in your marriage.
I think that's fair. But I also think that we can't focus too much on the 50-50 and the numbers because women have so many other roles. Once you have kids and you have other responsibilities, also expecting her to work full time, plus take on the laundry, plus take on the house cleaning, we have to start to rebalance those numbers. So I think you have to look at it holistically.
You're trying to say the guys don't have those same roles? I wash, I take care of the kids. So what are you trying to say there?
Yes.
See, this is what we go through.
Hey, you guys, I had to take a quick break to thank one of our partners, Prize Pool, for partnering with us to bring this amazing panel conversation with healthy men. Prize Pool is the leading savings account in the United States of America, in my personal opinion. Why? Because they have a high-yielded savings account. They're going to give you high-yielded on your returns of interest. Then also, they're going to give you some rewards for just parking your money inside of your savings account. What do I mean by that? Let me tell you. They're going to give you $100, $200. They're going to have some grand prizes of $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. I don't know. They surprise us every single month. All you have to do is open up a savings account with no limit necessary, but I highly suggest at least $500. You go over there, you get approved, you get in an account, you save the money, you're gonna have $1,000. Did you know that nearly 40%, 50% of people in America can't even save $400 in a savings account? But you can. You will. All you have to do is go over to anthonyoneil.com/savings account. Go over there and win. Get a high yielded on your returns, get some extra cash. Hey, you never know. You may win $500, $1,000, or $10,000. Go over to anthonyoneil.com/savings and open up a free savings account today. Yo, let's get back to the conversation. It was getting pretty good.
But here's the thing.
Were y'all married? Respectfully.
No, we were dating at the time.
And she paid your light bill.
She paid my bills. Hear me when I say this.
So hold on, keep going. But I do want to ask this question. Would you teach your daughter to do the same thing your wife did today?
Here's why I would teach her this. This is the only reason I would teach my daughter this, and my granddaughter. I told her what I know God told me, and the journey I was taking was going to cause a little bit of a struggle. And if I could teach my daughter to start with the man and build with the man that's struggling but has a vision. Now today, my wife doesn't work. My wife's at home, but she still works. So to me, it wasn't 50-50. It was her investment. So now she's reaping a reward for her investment, and now we're building together. So when I say 50-50, what do we, and again, it's subjective to everybody. What do you mean when you say 50-50? So most people in the beginning part is like, oh girl, you so stupid. I can't believe you do that. Not the same when they call it stupid. Like, hey, they members of the church. Like, hey, how can I? So it's.
I think we're having the wrong conversation.
Exactly.
And I agree with you, and I think we all do. We just don't like how you're saying it. But here's the deal. The conversation we're having is how is the money split? And it doesn't matter how the money is split because it's going to change in seasons of our lives.
Absolutely.
What can't happen is the vision for our household cannot be 50-50 because that's when you're talking about now we're butting heads now. So watch this. The man has to have 100% of the vision and the wife has to be 100% bought in. It's not 50-50, 80-20. It's 100-100.
Absolutely.
And the whole, wives submit to your husband and they don't like that in the Bible and all that. Here's what they don't understand. Before you say I do, you get to pick what vision you're going to submit to. So you got to hear that vision and make sure that's something I can 100% commit to. And when we're agreeing on the vision, there's not a conflict, there's not arguing, there's not fighting, and it doesn't matter who's paying the bills in this season of our marriage.
That's right. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I want to say this. So
that's what he meant to say.
Thank you for taking what he meant to say it and say it the right way. So that portion, you are absolutely right. 100% of the vision comes from me. That's unquestionable. But when we take that same scripture, there's a difference between vision and submission. Totally. So when it says, wives, submit yourself to the husband, the scripture prior to that says, submit yourself one to another. So which means there must be... What does it say?
Pastor, now you playing with scripture.
That ain't what it say?
It was, no. So in the context, that was talking about the church. So the first part of the passage was talking about husbands and wives. The second part of the passage, transition, was talking about the church in general. And it said, you all submit one into another. It wasn't talking about husband and wife in that sense.
So back up, rate that one verse right before that one.
Yeah.
So one verse right there, he changed this.
Not one verse. It was... Yeah, okay.
So let me...
I'm going to let you rap.
Oh, Jesus. We not in church today.
Okay, so
if you take the word submit,
to
meaning
be under,
I'm going to surrender to your opinion.
Come on.
There is not a healthy marriage where one person always gets to make the decision.
And that's my point.
At some point, you've got to put your preference down. So there is mutual submission.
And that's my point. Mutual submission, not vision. Mutual submission to whatever God may be telling you in this season.
So let me ask you this question, because I'm not married. And we got to wrap this thing up. So are we saying that ladies shouldn't have a vision at all?
That's what I heard.
So here's what I'm asking.
Say, you figure it out, and she listens.
So I just want to respectfully say this.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, cool. I was about to say, 'cause my woman better have a vision, but it just better align with
If I said that, I'm sorry.
So, for example, is an employee allowed to have a vision?
Absolutely.
And then they pick which company where they can live out their vision. They're not hijacking the whole company. It's the same thing. A woman must have a vision.
Okay.
And then
Just
she has
making
to
sure.
pick a man in which she can live out her vision, but not hijack his so that she can live out hers.
Because after I see the booty,
back to the booty.
I do want to see what's in her brains. Because if I am building a multi-7-figure business, the booty ain't going to build the business with me. And so I need to know, because you said employee, can employee have a vision? I think the only reason why I've hired the people on my team is because of the vision that they brought into my vision to make it better. And so I just really want to make sure that we made that very clear. That ladies, you need to have a vision on top of your beauty. Because if the last thing we all want, now you said you want the good looks, but you trying to tell me, Rico, we're gonna end with you. She got the Rico's my guy, y'all. Listen, I love the way this brother man think. I'll be on Rico's show here next month. I'm looking forward to this one. Y'all pray for me though, real talk though. Anyways, Rico, you trying to tell me, could you date a woman? She is, that body is just it's amazing. But that's all she has.
Never. I wasn't raised by a woman that was only, possessing one trait. See, this is why I say, first of all, I disagree when it comes to a boss woman. I admire successful people, woman or man, and the ability to obtain it shows me a lot about you. And that's the only type of woman I'm willing to actually settle down with. I'm not willing to settle down with one that I have to be the brains of. She can submit to my vision, but at the end of the day, visions do change, and people do change as they're growing together. So if her vision now makes more sense to my vision, I'm okay with it. How do we I'm not submitting to the vision, I'm submitting to us and whatever we're committed to do. And our vision can vary from time to time in the seasons that we like to talk about. And if it does go into a point where she is being the breadwinner at that point in time, that's a boss woman. Because she's capable to run the ship. And I've never met, and I know a lot of very successful people in my life. I never met a successful person without a real partner. CFOs, CEOs, VPs, presidents, they're both bosses. There's still a hierarchy, don't get me wrong, but they're both bosses. And for me, right now I don't have to do 50-50, thank God. But there was a point in time where I did have to do 50-50. There was a point in time where there was a girl doing 100-0, right? And she was just sold on my vision. And, obviously she's not here today. But that was my wrongdoings. I take that as a man. That's my wrongdoings. But I just want a boss woman. But more so is there's a willingness that has to be there has to be a willingness within us. She has to be willing to sacrifice whatever we're going to go through. She has to be able to sacrifice whatever she might want for that point in time. As so do I. I live on an equal playing field. There is no, hey, my word is above yours unless it makes more sense.
Yeah, just to add, I think one of the things that was not defined was what is a boss chick, because that kind of came out of that conversation. And so part of that society and the rhetoric around that is a boss chick is someone who's independent, who is masculine in some ways, who is not submissive, right? But I think there's another side to the definition of a boss chick, boss babe, which is, she's confident, she's successful, she knows herself, and she's able to bring that to the table. And so I think that was part of the reason why there could be an indifference or somebody disagree or agree. I think if we were able to define what definition we're going off of, then we'll be able to understand what Bobby was talking about.
Many of the pastors, many of the secular gentlemen also said that in different seasons, it may be required of the man or the woman specifically to be 50-50 or 100-0, as long as the vision and the goal is to get at 100%. And it can be 50-50 if it's 100% for the whole relationship, as far as if I provide 100% of the finances, I expect to have my wife raising, the kids properly. So 50-50 can work as long as everybody comes to an agreement and understanding of the parameters of what the 50-50 actually is and what we're bringing to the table. Because it's 100% all the way around for the family, for the community, and going forward. So.
Today I learned nuance. I'm honestly kind of tired of all the podcasts, relationship ministries, all the bold statements that get put out there, the taglines about this and this, you have to do X, Y, and Z. Today I learned nuance when I heard Pastor Don talk about him being 0, his wife giving 100 in their dating stages, in a conversation about whether or not 50-50 should be a thing. And it struck me as something that was difficult. However, God is now blessing them, and they had the longest relationship out of all the people on the stage, which is a testament to the fact that there is no hard and fast rules. There is no punchline, no tagline, this works and it'll give you results, guaranteed. Besides what is already written in scripture, I'm a Christian, besides what is already principle that God has set as order in the world that is guaranteed to work. Everything else that people make up on their podcast and everything, they are human. And so you have to, at the end of the day, end up relying more on the Holy Spirit and what the Lord has put on your heart to submit to or envision on both sides, and walk boldly in that understanding, because God will bless that and honor that.
Whether it be, whether it be financial or whatever you're bringing to the table, just as long as you have that capability of leading in some way. Like while the husband is going out and making the money financially, you're leading the children while the husband is away at work. So just as long as, of course, you're not in your masculine energy and you're still staying feminine, and making sure that you know your role, like the husband, what the husband does, what the wife does, all of that needs to be taken into consideration, because of course, if you're believing that you're supposed to operate, and do the things that the man does, then you're not knowing your role, and then that's where the headbutting comes in. So I definitely believe that a boss could live in the house with the husband. Just make sure that you know your role and I wouldn't say know your place, but just making sure that you know the value and the responsibility that you have in the household.
But I do agree with my friend as well that there has to be a conversation. For him to say there's no conversation at all, it's a problematic. If you want a partnership to work long term, that being marriage, that being business, there has to be a conversation to be had.
And I do believe women bring a different perspective to situations. So you see things through your lens of life, through your experience in life, and she also sees things in different perspectives. So her bringing her perspective helps give a different advantage of what options to go through, what should we do. When you said I'm in charge 100%, you have blind spots, you have weaknesses, you have things that you have not experienced that maybe she can bring to the table. So you benefit when you bring both perspectives and make the best decision for the unit overall.